Nellie Bly, born Elizabeth Cochran, was an investigative journalist working for the New York World in 1889. One day, Bly went to her editor, Joseph Pulitzer, with an interesting request. She had just read Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne, the fictional story of Phileas Fogg, who sails around the world in 80 days. Sponsored by her newspaper, Nellie Bly decides to set out on a journey of her own to beat Fogg's record. She modestly packed her suitcase, including only clothes and dishes, and of course something to write with. She departed by ship from New Jersey in November 1889 towards England. From there, she traveled by train through Europe. She decided to stop in France to meet with Jules Verne himself, who had heard of her, and dined with he and his wife. As she traveled, she made sure to describe everything she came across and all of the cultures she came into contact with. In Italy, she marveled at the cuisine. She crossed the Mediterranean and went through Egypt, where she rode a burro and witnessed alligator hunting. She continued to travel by sea, passing through what is modern-day Yemen, Sri Lanka, Singapore, through the Indian Ocean. By this time, people had begun to take bets on when she would return to get publicity up for the newspaper. In Hong Kong, she rode royal ponies. In Japan, she was amazed by the fashion and even stopped to buy a monkey. She crossed the Pacific and then was on the last leg of her tour. When she arrived in California, she traveled by a single car train. She was met all over the states with support. When she arrived back in New Jersey, she had beaten the world record and the fictional Fox record, 3 days ahead of her own itinerary. She traveled the world in 72 days. She compiled all of her writing and wrote a best-selling book after her accomplishment.